Thank you for clicking on the video. This is the West March. I'm Leonhardt, and today we're going to be talking about this breaking news about Spider-Man Brand New Day. It debuted with $927 million at the box office, just short of $1 billion. And that's insane. That's especially insane for something that's not an Avengers level movie. Now, you probably ask yourself, why is this the case? Why did this movie make so much money? And I have a couple of thoughts about that. So, there's actually three things that's the reason why it made so much money. The first thing is, it's been 5 years since No Way Home. And that kind of had a cliffhanger. I actually, after watching that movie back in 2021, I actually was like, that's it? I want a resolution. I want to see what the rest of these characters have to offer. So each year we were just like, what's the next movie going to be about? What's Peter going to do? Those memories, Doctor Strange, like all that stuff. It just built up hype. Every year it built up a certain amount of hype. So that's one contributing factor. The second thing is how do I say this? The majority of movies since 2021 and onward, especially when it came from Marvel, even DC, they kind of sucked. Even Superman was a kind of a letdown. The Ant-Man 3, like those type of movies, they just were just a letdown. The Marvels, Madam Web, like all those movies cascaded into an amalgamation of trash. I'm going to be honest. It was just a lot of bad movies that came out. And even though Spider-Man, he has maybe one or two meh movies, most of his movies are pretty good. So we basically said, you know what? If there's going to be one good movie, at least this year when it comes to Superman or superheroes, it's going to be Spider-Man, right? So that's the reason why people were so excited to see this movie. That's why the tickets were selling out. It's because after 5 long years, it was like, we get to finally enjoy a superhero movie and not be preached to. So that's actually the second thing. And the third thing is the cast. People like Tom Holland. People like Zendaya, even though the internet would make it seem like people don't like Zendaya. People do like her on screen, especially in the Spider-Man universe. Now, I would prefer if she was actually the real Mary Jane, but she's Michelle Jones, I believe. But that's just this universe of MJ. Regardless, the cast has a good chemistry. Even those Homecoming movies, they're not my favorite movies, but the cast seem like they get along, and people can feel that energy through the movies. So that's why people were excited to see it. So you got the build-up hype, you've got the bad movies where people are begging for a good movie. And then you got the cast. This is a trifecta of great movie hype and why people went to go see it. Especially, there's also a fourth one. People that saw the Homecoming trilogy, they were freaking in college or just out of high school. And after 5 years after that trilogy, they probably have kids. And they probably want to show their children Spider-Man. So that's actually another thing I have to say. A lot of men, particularly young men, they look up to Peter Parker. They look up to Spider-Man. It's just like a hero. I look up to Peter Parker. He's a great example of virtue, of a masculine virtue. And these men, they take their families, they take their women, even though the wives or the girlfriends, they want to see Spider-Man too. But the guy, he's going to take his whole family to see a movie like this. So that's the one thing I think a lot of the studios over the past 5 years, they've neglected that fan base. They've neglected that core audience of superhero, which is guys. They've neglected that, and they haven't brought their families to the movies. They haven't even gone to the movies. That's why most of the box offices have been low in the past 5 years. But now, I hope if there's one thing these studios can learn from this, which they won't learn, by the way, they will not learn this, is to do not forget your core audience. Don't neglect them. Give them what they want, and they will bring others to watch the movies with them, which will give you close to $1 billion box office over the weekend. That's all you have to do. Don't forget your audience and give them what they want. All right. That's my take on this crazy news. I'm actually excited. I'm looking forward to the next Spider-Man. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. So we'll see what happens next. Thank you so much for clicking the video. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.